Yeah, Mitt Romney's comments that he likes to fire people were unfortunate, probably not the right thing to say. His campaign says he was taken out of context and he was talking about firing insurance companies. How much will that hurt him here in New Hampshire? A little bit, but listen, you look at the polls here in New Hampshire, Mitt Romney is expected to win and win big. You know, to use a sports metaphor, this is home field advantage for Mitt Romney. He was governor of neighboring Massachusetts. He owns a vacation home in this state. He also campaigns a lot for himself and for fellow Republicans here. It would be a huge, huge upset if Mitt Romney did not win and win by double digits here in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is really going to set up South Carolina. We know Romney's going to win big here, and that's going to help him down in South Carolina where he will have a tougher race. The big question in New Hampshire is who comes in second, who comes in third and fourth, because those people could get some big momentum heading into South Carolina. And the other big question, of course, is Jon Huntsman. Listen, he was an afterthought for a long time in this race for the White House, but he spent all of his time here in New Hampshire. He's done well, it seems, because the latest polls just out indicate he's now battling for second. If he has a strong night, Huntsman could move on to South Carolina. We know Gingrich is going to move on. We know Santorum is going to move on. We know Ron Paul is going to move on. The big question is, will Jon Huntsman join everybody else in South Carolina? Social conservative voters are not much of a factor here in New Hampshire. They were in Iowa. They will be again in South Carolina. But the difference between South Carolina social conservatives and Iowa social conservatives, maybe they're a little more pragmatic in South Carolina. I think they're looking more for a winner, somebody who can beat President Obama in November, and they may be able to, look past a candidate who doesn't agree with them on all the issues. Yes, they are a big influence in South Carolina, but it's not the end-all like it was to a degree in Iowa. Turnout here is supposed to be a little higher than normal. The Secretary of State's office says they expect a record turnout. Why? Well, there's no real contest on the Democratic side, so some independents who would normally vote in the Democratic contest are coming to the Republican side. Who does that help? Maybe somebody like a Ron Paul who does well with libertarians, does well with some independents. It also could help Jon Huntsman because he does well with those moderates in the middle and independents. And to a degree, it could help Mitt Romney. May not help as much somebody like a Rick Santorum or a Newt Gingrich or a Rick Perry who are really going for that conservative vote. You know, the one thing about New Hampshire that is interesting is the independents. Independents play such a big role in New Hampshire, a lot more than we saw in Iowa, and they'll be a bigger role than we see in South Carolina. So it'll be interesting to look at where the independent votes go in the New Hampshire primary. That could be very telling as we battle on towards the Republican nomination.